my sorrow. I can't stay silent. I must sing for your joy has come. Where there once was only hurt, you gave your healing hand. Where there once was only pain, you brought comfort like a friend. I feel the sweetness of your love piercing my darkness. I see the bright and morning sun as it ushers in your joyful gladness. You turned my mourning into dancing again. You've lifted my sorrow. I can't stay silent. I must sing more. Your joy has come. Where there once was only hurt, you gave your healing hand. Where there once was only pain, brought comfort like a friend. I feel the sweetness of your love piercing my darkness. I see the bright and morning sun as it ushers in your joyful gladness. You've turned my mourning into dancing again. You've lifted my sorrow. I can't stay silent. I must sing more. Your joy has come. Your anger lasts for a moment in time, but your favor is here and will be on me for all my lifetime. You've turned my mourning into dancing again. You've lifted my sorrow. I can't stay silent. I must sing more. Your joy has come. You've turned my mourning into dancing again. Lifted my sorrow. I can't stay silent. I must sing more. Your joy has come. Blessing and honor, glory and power be unto the Ancient of Days. From every nation, all of creation, bow before the Ancient of Days. Every tongue in heaven and earth shall declare your glory. Every knee shall bow at your throne and worship you. Will be exalted, O God, and your kingdom shall not pass away, O Ancient of Days. Blessing and honor, glory and power be unto the Ancient of Days. From every nation, all of creation, bow before the Ancient of Days. Every tongue in heaven and earth shall declare your glory. Every knee shall bow at your throne and worship you. Will be exalted, O God, and your kingdom shall not pass away, O Ancient of Days. Your kingdom shall reign over all the earth. Sing to the Ancient of Days, for none can compare to the earth's this worth. Sing to the Ancient of Days. Every tongue in heaven and earth shall declare your glory. Every knee shall bow at your throne and worship you. Will be exalted, O God, and your kingdom shall not pass away, O Ancient of Days. Blessing and honor, glory and power be unto the Ancient of Days. From every nation, all of creation, bow before the Ancient of Days. Every tongue in heaven and earth shall declare your glory. pass away, oh ancient of days. Don't know back to your best. You will know when to rest. Don't know back to your best. You will know when to rest. Hitting every green light, passing every stop sign. Oh yeah, it's a good day. Sometimes it'll seem like everything is just right. Everything is going my way. Don't hold back to your best. You will know when to rest. Don't hold back to your best. You will know when to rest. Hitting every green light, passing every stop sign. Oh yeah, it's a good day. Sometimes it'll seem like everything is just right. Everything is going my way. Don't hold back to your best. You will know when to rest. Don't hold back to your best. You will know when to rest. Don't hold back to your best. You will know when to rest. Don't hold back to your best. You will know when to rest. Don't hold back. Jesus, we love you, we worship you, adore you, we lift up your name. Jesus, you're worthy of blessing and honor, and we give you praise. You're worthy of glory and praise. We lift up your name, oh Lord. You're worthy of praise. We lift up our hands in your name, declaring your praise, oh Lord. You're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy of praise. Ooh. Jesus, our healer, provider, Messiah, to you we will sing. Jesus, you're wonderful, Counselor, the mighty God, our soon gonna be King. You're worthy of glory and praise. We lift up your name, oh Lord. You're worthy of praise. We lift up our hands in your name, declaring your praise. Oh, you're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy, you're worthy of praise. Ooh. Jesus, you're worthy. Ooh.
Good morning. The title of today's message is Raise the Standard. Jeremiah 51:12. Sit up, The standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong, set up the watchmen, prepare the ambushes, for the Lord has both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. So Babylon, as you may recall, means confusion. And there was a time where Israel was conquered by Babylon and stuff like that. And a standard is something that they would raise in battle. If you ever saw a movie like Braveheart, where like everyone's kind of in a field and they're all mixed up and stuff like that, they would raise a standard, which is like a big flag, so that you would know which side was yours. Well, here God is telling his people to raise the flag or set up the standard on the walls of Babylon, meaning to set an example in the midst of confusion. So Babylon, naturally speaking, was a pagan empire, that did not serve God. But we need to be an example in the midst of confusion, or in the midst of a bad example. If you ever saw that experiment where you could put like pepper in water, and you put a little drop of soap in there, and the pepper just kind of scatters out. When you light a light in the darkness, it has a greater effect than you think it does. And I know that in the world that we live in today, as probably our parents and grandparents and people before them said, the world we live in today, it can be kind of discouraging, especially if you're a Christian, if you're someone that is attempting to live by a certain standard. And it seems like the whole world is working against you, and kind of makes you want to give up. But God tells us that in the midst of Babylon, to raise a standard, to set this example. 2 Timothy 3, this know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God. Well, if people are being selfish, then we need to raise the standard by showing our care for others. If people are being greedy, then we need to be generous. If they are being proud, we need to be humble. If they are being unthankful, we need to show gratitude and be grateful. If they are truce breakers or contract breakers, we need to keep our word regardless. If they are incontinent or they lack self-control, we need to show discipline. If they are fierce, we need to be civilized. If they are traitors, we need to be faithful. Philippians 2, do all things without murmuring and disputings, that ye may be blameless and harmless, the sons of God without rebuke, in the midst of a crooked and perverse generation, among whom you shine as lights in the world, holding forth the word of light. So this is a little photo of Michael Jordan, and I replaced his basketball with a ball of light because, of course, just like in the game of basketball, as you are attempting to score, there are many people actively resisting you. So here Paul is saying to the Philippians that we need to be blameless in the midst of a crooked and perverse generation, among whom we shine as lights, holding forth the word of light. We need to push it forward. I don't know what's going to happen in the long run. I don't know if things will go back to being the nuclear family and that sort of thing. But I do know that before Jesus comes back, that we can hold off calamity by being a people worthy of saving. And one person makes a difference, big time. I could list people in history, but one person does make a difference. Proverbs 8, does not wisdom cry and understanding put forth her voice? She stands in the top of high places by the way, in the places of the paths. She cries at the gates, at the entry of the city, at the coming of the doors. Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of man. O you simple, understand wisdom, and you fools, be ye of an understanding heart. So here, wisdom is personified, and she is crying out at the gates, at the entry, at a prominent place. So to some degree, we may need to seek a place of prominence to guide people and show them this word of life. It seems when you look at politics and different leadership positions, it seems like a certain kind of person tends to seek out those positions, and they tend to kind of be bad people that, they want attention or they want people to obey them or something like that. In politics, they use this phrase public servant. That's really what that job is supposed to be. And say for someone like myself, although I don't feel that to do that at the moment, um, when we seek out leadership positions or places of prominence with the intent that we want to help people, we need sometimes to occupy these places at the gates, so to speak, in order to be in a position where we can reach people in whatever way we can. What that may mean, say for me, is seeking a management position or a job or something like that, where I'm not particularly interested in leading or being a manager, but somebody has to do it. And if good people don't do it, then bad people will do it. Same thing with you. There may be some position or some, I could say, elevated position, higher position that you are not particularly interested in. You're not interested in being a leader or being prominent, but maybe you need to do it for the sake of other people so that they can see an example, just so that the bad people don't just rush in like a flood and make everything worse. Good people need to seek out these positions, even though it's contrary, if I could say, contrary to our nature at times. If you are someone who I resist kind of calling myself good, but I mean, it is not something in me to move to the front. I feel kind of embarrassed to call attention to myself and stuff like that. But we need to do it not for our sake, but for other people's sake. Isaiah 30, 1,000 shall flee at the rebuke of one. At the rebuke of 5 shall ye flee, till you be left as a beacon upon the top of a mountain and as an ensign on a hill. So in this scripture, this is kind of talking about Israel being conquered and being scattered and stuff like that. But like with many scriptures, there's kind of like a dual layer meaning. And he ends this verse by saying, until you be left like a beacon on the top of a mountain, or as an ensign, or like a flag on the top of a hill. So there's an old secular parable. It's not in the Bible, but it's, the emperor's new clothes, where this guy hears about this arrogant king, and he decides to fool him by bringing him like a coat hanger and saying that there's like invisible clothes on this hanger and only the wisest people can see it. And the king and all his leaders, they all talk about how they admire these clothes. And eventually this one little boy, and the emperor goes out basically naked, wearing these imaginary clothes, and one little boy at one point says the emperor has no clothes. And everyone's like, no, shh, quiet. And he says, no, the emperor has no clothes, look. And this one little boy says this thing out loud that everybody's actually thinking. Well, we need to be an example, even if we are the only one left. Even if we are on the top of a hill scattered, there's no one around us. We need to be that beacon of light. You hear about weird stuff going on in schools. You hear about weird things going on, like I said, in politics and in the world in general. It's difficult to kind of push forward and to be that example. But we need to be the example, even if we're the only one left, because we may find that we are not actually the only one left, and that actually other people want to say what we are saying, but they don't have the courage to, they're afraid to. And if we will say it, they will start saying it too. So that's what we're going to pray, that God will lead us to be an example and to raise the standard where we're at. Jesus, thank you for this morning. Jesus, I invite you to do as you're willing. Jesus, help us, please, to be your light shining. In this world we are your hands and feet. If not us, Lord, who else would be doing? If not now, when? If not me, who, Lord? Send me. Jesus, I am willing to stand
light. Where